Hello, I'm Karla Schafer, Auntie's Beads designer, and today we're going to go over earring construction. We're going to make three types of earrings. We're going to make a regular drop earring using a head pin and also an eye pin. We're going to make an interchangeable earring where you can change the drops out on the loops or hoops. And we're also going to do a chandelier earring. The next thing that we're going to go over is the tools and the materials that you would need to make earrings. You need to use a pair of round nose pliers, and you'll need a nipper tool, and I also use the chain nose pliers. A variety of beads will be needed or can be used, charms or sterling silver beads, crystal. You'll also need some French wires for the plain drop earrings and for the chandeliers. The first earring we are going to make is a basic drop earring, and we're going to use a head pin. I'm using a 22 gauge 2-inch head pin. If you're a beginner, you may want to try using a 24 gauge head pin. They're a little softer and they're easier to work with, but I actually prefer the 22 gauge. So the first thing we're going to do is just add some beads to the head pin. And it'll be any beads that you want to make your earring out of. And then you take your round nose pliers, place it at the top of the bead that the last bead strung, bend the wire over the pliers at a right angle, so you have this. Reposition your pliers, and then wrap the wire over the top, forming a loop. Remove your round nose pliers and place it at the top of the loop you just formed, and then wrap the wire around with your fingers, or in some cases you may want to use your chain nose pliers. So you formed your loop, and then you're going to clip the wire with your nipper tool, the little excess tail. Make sure your tails are tapped in. Your loop. Now you formed your drop, and the next thing that you'll do is take your French wire hook, and you're going to open the loop gently with your round nose pliers by just bending it to the side. You're going to slip the drop on and then close, and now you have a drop earring. The next thing we're going to do is use an eye pin to make a pair of earrings, and this would be good in case you want to put charms or other dangles on your earrings. So we're going to open the loop by gently pulling it to the side. We're going to place the charm on there, and we're going to close it. And then we're going to string beads on there, whatever beads that you would like. There's hundreds of designs you can do just by changing up the beads. And I'm going to add a silver bead. Next thing you do is take your round nose pliers, put it again at the top of the plier of the last bead, bend it at a right angle, reposition your pliers, bring the wire over, and then grasp the loop at the top and wrap the wire around. And then you can trim the tail with your nipper tool. And again, using your French wire, open it up to the side, place the drop on, and then close it. And now you have a dangle earring with a charm. The next earring we're going to learn how to make is an interchangeable earring, and what we're doing is using a basic hoop earring, and we're going to make it different drops where you can put on, you can wear multiple drops on one hoop, or you can make one per, and then just have it interchangeable as you want to wear. So first thing we're going to do is take a head pin, and again, in any variety of beads that you want to do, I'm going to add a silver bead to the bottom. Sometimes your beads have a hole that's too big and they'll slip through, so a lot of times you may want to use a little spacer bead at the bottom of your head pin. I'm going to string on a crystal and then a spacer. And for this wrap, we're going to make the loop a little larger so it will go over the hoop. So what we're going to do is we're going to place again the pliers at the top of the last bead dropped, but this time we're going to bring it up a little higher on the plier so we can make our loop larger, and we're going to bend it over at a right angle, reposition our pliers and bring it over, and by placing it in a different place on the jaw of the pliers it makes that loop larger. And then you grasp it at the loop and then you twist it. So you get down to the beads. Clip your tail with your nipper tool. And then you can slip it on over the hoop. Now you can make all kinds of dangles and you'll have an interchangeable earring. Okay. The next item we're going to make is a chandelier earring, and what we do here is there's a variety of chandelier findings that you can pick up, and we've got tons of them on our website. This one just has 3 loops, so we're going to make 3 drops for this one, and what we're going to do is use a head pin, and again you can use any variety of beads that you want to use. I'm going to drop some silver beads and a crystal and another silver bead. I'm going to put a bigger bead in the middle just to kind of balance it out. And again, we do take our round nose pliers, place them at the top of the last bead that we dropped, bend it at a right angle, reposition your pliers, bring it over the top, bring it around, and instead of closing and wrapping the loop, we are first going to string it onto the chandelier finding. So I'm going to put this one in the center. We get it in there, and then grasp it right about the cross of the 2 wires and wrap it. And then we'll trim the tail with the nipper tool. And then we'll add the other drops. Again, I'm going to use a head pin, silver bead. I'm using a smaller crystal and another silver bead. You take the pliers, put it at the top of the last bead dropped, bend it at a right angle, rotate it over the top, place it in the other loop, grasp it again at the cross, and wrap. And trim the excess. And again, do the same thing with the other. For the last loop we're going to do, I'm going to do the same drop that I did on this loop, and I'm going to take the head pin, put a silver bead on it, and a crystal, and another silver bead. And again, we're going to take the round nose pliers, place it at the top of the bead that we dropped on last, bend it at a right angle, reposition the pliers and bring the wire over the top of the pliers to form a loop. Then we're going to take that and put it in the loop of the earring finding. And grasp the wires where they cross and wrap the wire around. Trim excess wire with the nipper tool. And then all we have to do is add our French wire. And again, you need to open the French wire at the side. Place the finding in the loop. And then close. And now you have a pair of chandelier earrings. We're going to show you how to wrap the loops in a little more detail. So we've dropped the beads on the head pin, and all I'm going to do is going to take my pliers and put them at the top of the last bead that I've dropped. I'm going to bend the wire at a right angle, and I'm going to place my pliers in the bend. I'm going to take the wire and bring it over the top of the pliers and form a loop. You have a loop like this. Then I'm going to grasp the loop with the round nose pliers, and then I'm going to wrap the wire couple of times down to the bead. So you have this, and then trim with the nipper tool. You have your drop. Open the French wire. The opening's at the back, so what you do is you grasp it, bend it to the side so that you don't distort the loop. Place the drop on, then close. You have your earring.